Welcome back, everybody. Today we're here to do a shot-by-shot breakdown of the entire Walking Dead Season 10 trailer. I'm very excited about it. This is going to be a full breakdown, going through the entire trailer. So it is going to be, longer than my usual video. So be sure to kick back, relax, grab some popcorn, and enjoy, because we're going to be talking about the entire trailer. So let's get started. So the trailer opens up with this walker getting pushed onto shore by the ocean, and I believe it's a quick little sequence before the actual trailer starts. And I think the reason they put that in there is because they're kind of just telling us beforehand that the ocean and the beach is going to have a big significant part in season 10, because throughout the trailer we have a lot of sequences and a lot of action set pieces that's going on in this beach, and I'm very excited about it because it looks to be like a big beach battle, and it's one of the things I'm most anticipating for season 10. And that's also another thing I'm kind of curious about. What are you guys most excited for in season 10? Like, throughout this trailer, what got you most excited? For me, the Michonne stuff is very exciting because I don't really know what direction her story is going. We're going to talk more about that throughout the trailer, but this big battle at the beach has my attention. I'm excited for it. Next, we have a group of survivors here. We have Michonne and Luke and some other people, and they're on their horses. And I love the use of horses in the season 10 trailer and in season 9, because I mean, it brings a layer of realism to it. I know The Walking Dead is a fictional show, it's a zombie apocalypse, but for so long they've been using cars and stuff like that, and I'm happy they made the switch. I mean, they have been using horses also in the past, but now it looks like they're going, like, I don't even remember the last time you've seen somebody use a car, really. And I love it because it just makes sense for the world they're in, so that's awesome. Next, the trailer transitions to the area where we have the Whisper border, and we have our group and the Whispers. This is where they confront each other like we saw in the trailer, and Alpha saying, "There is one rule between our people, one law. We are always watching." And I believe she's saying this because somebody got caught crossing the border. It could be Daryl, because in the trailer we're going to get to later on, Daryl does cross the border. It's very clear. We saw them cross the border last season also, so we don't know. Maybe somehow they figured out that they crossed the border. Maybe there was a Whisper to watching them. I know they left because it was snowing and stuff like that, but still, maybe they somehow found out, and that's what's going to trigger the Whisper War. Maybe Alpha's going to come to the hilltop and kill somebody, but we'll see where that goes. But man, I just love the atmosphere in this trailer. Because next we have the whole silence the whispers motto, and we have characters, like I like this scene here where this person, I think, is kind of imitating a whisper or something. Now I want to talk about this guy right here in the green jacket. I've heard some people say this is Dante. I just don't know for sure, because there's another character in the trailer that some people say is Dante. This definitely could be Dante. This is at Alexandria, and when the information came out that Dante will be on The Walking Dead Season 10, they said that his role is going to be a little bit different than in the comics, and he's going to be at Alexandria. So this could be Dante. Just wanted to point that out there. And while we're watching all these sequences that I'm just about to talk about, we have a voiceover from Negan talking about how people are becoming more scared of the Whispers now. And I like how in the trailer he refers to them as he says like the boogeyman. And I love that because they always, like, it kind of reminds me of like classic horror films. I know they refer to Michael Myers as the boogeyman. And yeah, that's what I mean. Like, I just love the whole atmosphere. I mean, this is definitely, this trailer makes The Walking Dead Season 10 seem like it's going to be very dark, which I'm excited about. I mean, Season 10 was one of the darkest seasons we've had, and I think it works. I mean, we saw that it set well with people and critics, because that's what The Walking Dead is supposed to be, It's supposed to be a horror show. And I love how it's going back to that. And obviously the Whispers have a lot to do with that, because they're terrifying on their own, so they definitely want to utilize that and make them as scary as possible. Next, we have a shot of Michonne looking through some binoculars, and she kind of drops it and she looks worried, like she has a worried look on her face, and obviously she's seeing something. And I believe, well, this is at Alexandria. We've never seen the Whispers at Alexandria before, but I imagine it wouldn't be too hard for them to find it, just like they found the hilltop. All they have to do is, like, they look like walkers. All they have to do is slowly follow somebody. So I'm pretty sure they're going to end up finding their way to Alexandria. And then we cut to Negan in the cell, and he's saying that people are putting their shitting pants back on. So that's, referring to what he was talking about before with the boogeyman, and people are becoming scared of the Whispers. And that's Negan's famous line. And you can definitely see, like, Negan, I'm sure he seems like he feels confident, and he thinks he knows how to deal with the whispers, and he might. We're gonna see him, like we saw him leave the cell, and he's gonna get like a job and work on the field or whatever. And he might, try to go deal with the whispers on his own. He might like recruit his own people, like maybe get a couple, some former saviors or some other people, and be like, you know what? Let's stop waiting around and go kill these whispers. That's something I feel like, Negan would do, and he seems very confident, when talking about the whispers. Next, we have a shot of Eugene running to the radio station here, and the way he's running, obviously he's heard someone. And that's gonna be another important aspect of season 10. Obviously, the Whisper War is gonna be there, but this person that we heard at the end of season 9, this is gonna be somebody who's gonna be pretty important. It could be the Commonwealth. It could be somebody connected with Rick. It could be, somebody saying Rick is alive, which would cue Michonne's exit. We don't know for sure, but whatever it is, it's gonna be important. After this, we have a few quick shots of characters who look to be kind of like scared or worried or something, and then Michonne says like fear is dangerous, so I think it's referring to these characters. Here we have Rosita. She seems very scared and she's crying, holding her baby. Season 10 is gonna be picking up with a time jump, so she is gonna have her baby. And in this scenario, maybe she's like worried about the whispers or worried about her safety and her baby's safety. And then we have a shot of Luke here, and he looks a little bit worried as well. And then we have a shot of Judith picking up a whisper mask, and again, she looks a little worried as well. And then that kind of ties into what Michonne says in the voiceover, that fear is dangerous. So people are definitely gonna be scared. I mean, look at that. She's holding a mask of a walker. That's kind of scary, and you can't tell a difference. And not only the whispers are scary, but just like the fact that you can't tell a difference between a walker and a whisper, like it makes you scared to go outside, because somebody could just like, a walker just pull up a knife and kill you or something. It is kind of terrifying. And then we have a shot of this, which is really, really interesting to me. We have a shot of Carol here, and we have Henry in the back. She obviously is going to be hallucinating Henry, which is super interesting to me, because these characters are going to be very, very scared. And the next shot, we have I don't know exactly what's going on with Sadiq here, but he looks like he's kind of freaking out. He kind of ducks his head into or dumps his head into some, like, looks like some ice cold water to like snap out of it or something. So I don't know what the whispers are doing specifically this season, but everybody looks kind of terrified, and it could just be like trauma over everything. Like we heard in the trailer, we had that moment between Carol and Daryl where they were talking about how it looks like we're going from one fight to the next fight to the next fight, and it could be stressful on them, and it could just be a moment where Carol kind of like sits back and realizes everything she's been through. But she's definitely going to be having some hallucinations this season, as we can see here that Henry is right behind her, which is kind of scary also, let me say that. And then we have Michonne and Aaron here talking, and Michonne says that it can drive us apart. That's going back to what she was saying, like, talking about fear and people being scared. And then we have a couple of shots of some people painting, silence the whispers. So there's gonna be some drama between the communities, and between the people in the communities, because I think people are gonna be scared. A lot of people are gonna be like, we should go kill the whispers. Some people are gonna be like, no, let's mind our own business, because we don't know if we can deal with them. And that could be what I was talking about earlier with, Negan. Negan wants to be a leader, so he could very well take up all the people who are saying silence the whispers and wants to go kill the whispers. He can go take up all those people and march them down to the, whisper camp or something. Since he wants to be a leader, he could do that. So that's going to be interesting to see if that happens. Next, we have a shot of Lydia training here. Kind of reminded me of Morgan with the stick, but I'm kind of interested to see what her role is going to be like in season 10 and moving forward, because Henry's not there anymore, Carl's not there, so I don't know if they're gonna stick with her comic book role, or they're gonna give her a new role or what. But I think they're gonna focus. If I had to guess on it, I think they're gonna focus more on her, dealing with the whispers and her mother, and how she left her mother, and she knows her mother's a bad person. I've heard some people say they kind of want to see Lydia kill Alpha, which would be interesting, because she did kill Henry. I can definitely see where those people are coming from. I personally would like Carol to kill Alpha, but if Lydia does kill Alpha, that would be pretty interesting and cool as well. And I'm sure you guys all have seen the trailer by now, and because I just want to say, like, I love the music in the trailer, during this moment particularly, because it's going, like, it's hard to explain, but it's like this ominous sound of, like, Da-na-na. That was horrible, but I don't know. But I just love this music. Next, we have Negan talking to Lydia, and he says like, "Watch your back, kid." I don't know exactly what the context around this scene could be, but it could just be Negan, just in casual conversation telling her to watch her back because he knows people are scared about the whispers. And then we have Lydia here walking away from Daryl, and Daryl's kind of following her. Lydia looks to be like kind of annoyed or pissed off or something like that. And I mean, it was pretty obvious from last season that Daryl cares about Lydia. I mean, Daryl's like one of those people who cares about, like, he cares for a lot of people, but he doesn't show emotion, and that's why I really like Daryl. But, you can see that he's obviously going to be trying to help Lydia fit in with the group and the community, and something here is obviously kind of like taking her off. And remember last season, people didn't really like Lydia, and the same thing could happen. I mean, and Daryl protected her last season. He said, like, she's one of us now, and the same thing could happen this season, especially since, it looks like a big part of this whole Whisper arc is going to be people scared of the Whispers and upset about the Whispers, and we saw the whole silence the Whispers thing. So if more people find out that Lydia is one of them, more people are going to be upset about Lydia and don't want her to be in the group. So maybe that's why she's upset here, and Daryl obviously is protecting her. Next, we have Daryl confronting Negan, which we haven't seen before. This is something I'm interested to see how their relationship is going to be like in season 10, especially since Negan is going to start helping the group, I'm sure. I don't think it's going to be hard for Daryl to, forgive Negan. But here in this scene, Daryl says that, no, we've never been toe to toe. Nobody's here to save you. So obviously he's threatening Negan. And maybe Negan did say something to Lydia, like something rude or something mean or something like that. And then that's why Daryl is upset about Negan. And you just gotta like, Negan's little smirk here. Negan never takes anything seriously. And then after Daryl says that in the trailer, it cuts to Daryl punching the shit out of somebody. Like, he just punches their head super hard. And then we have Carol here in the back. The hair sort of looks like Negan's hair, but I don't know if it's gonna be Negan. Is Daryl gonna? I mean, that would be interesting to see him punch the shit out of Negan. I mean, I'm sure he wants to, and that's why I'm interested to see these two, finally interacting in season 10, because we haven't really seen them interact at all. And then Negan says, "If you don't protect what belongs to you, then it belongs to someone else." And while he's saying that, we have some shots of characters with their loved ones, like we have Aaron and Gracie here. We have Sadiq and his baby. We have Connie and Daryl. So I think that's referring to just what he's saying himself. If you don't, I don't know if it's like hopefully it's not foreshadowing. I mean, I wouldn't be surprised if a lot of these, not a lot, but there are gonna be some characters who end up dying during the Whisper War, or it's not gonna be a Whisper War at all. And the more I kind of think about it, I don't like. During All Out War, not that many characters died. I know Carl was a big one, protecting people, but Carl wasn't even related to All Out War. And I do hope they kill more people during the Whisper War. I know that might sound like a harsh thing to say, but it really only makes sense. And maybe that's why they've been building up a lot of relationships over the last season, because since season 9 we've had so many relationships kind of blossom. So maybe that's why, because it's gonna be very tough on characters during the Whisper War. But anyways, moving on, we have Michonne and some people rolling up to Oceanside. Finally excited we're gonna get Oceanside back. We haven't seen them in a very long time. We saw them at the fair. We haven't seen Sydney in a long time, but it does look like she's gonna be back. After that, though, it gets really interesting, because we have a shot of Negan covered in blood, and he has this kind of like devilish look on him. And then we cut to Aaron here. You can see it's Aaron because of his hand, and somebody hit him or something, because this tool or whatever is bleeding. Now they definitely make it look like it's Negan who hit Aaron. And in the trailer, we see them together because they're working together. That whole peanut butter and jelly thing that Gabriel said. We'll get to that in a minute. But is Negan gonna turn bad again? I really hope not. I mean, I don't know, maybe. But whoever it is, I mean, they definitely make it seem like it's him hitting. They make it seem like it's Negan hitting Aaron. But again, you can never really trust these trailers. They're kind of built to fool us. So I wouldn't really bet on it. I don't think Negan would do something stupid like that, especially after he just got out of the cell, unless he's like 100% crazy. But we'll see. Let me know in the comments down below if you think it is Negan hitting Aaron, or do you think it's Negan hitting someone else and then somebody else hitting Aaron. And then we have that moment I was just talking about a second ago, where Gabriel kind of introduces Aaron and Negan and says, like, peanut butter and me jelly, because they're working together. And this is going to be the moment where Negan gets out of the cell. So those two are going to be spending some time together working. I mean, yeah, the trailer definitely made it seem like Negan hit Aaron like that. I don't know, man. I don't know if I would. I mean, it could happen, but I just wouldn't like it to happen because like Negan has gone so far to redeem himself, saving Judith. But who knows? Maybe he did. But again, I just hope he didn't. Next, after that, we have a quick little montage of some people killing some walkers. We have Rosita, Laura, Judith, Magna, and then Alden throws a spear here. The Magna and Alden part, this is at the battle at the beach, which again I'm very excited about. I don't know if this is gonna be with the Whispers or it's gonna be a different group because we know there's also a ship that kind of came on shore. So maybe there's some walkers there, a lot of walkers, some people, who knows. But you guys let me know, what do you think is going on at this battle at the beach? Is it the Whispers, or would the Whispers want to come to the beach, or is it someone else? And then we have Michonne killing a walker. And then we have Lydia training again. She's punching. She's using the punching bag, and yeah, Lydia's gonna she's definitely trying to transform herself. So I wouldn't be surprised if Lydia wants to get revenge on her mom or the Whispers or something. But based on this trailer, yeah, she's definitely wants to step up her game and become a strong person, I guess. And then we have that moment in the trailer where we have Carol and Daryl talking, and Carol says, do you ever wonder, what else is out there? And then, Daryl says that sometimes I think that we survive one fight to the next. So I love how they brought that up because at a point, I talked about this in my initial review, like at a point it does get a little bit like frustrating, and you kind of think about like, are we beating the governor to deal with the saviors, and then we beat the saviors to deal with the Whispers, and then if we beat the Whispers, we have the next group, and it's over and over and over again. Maybe as fans, like, we don't really question it, like people watching the show, but just like the characters in the show themselves, I like how they're self-aware about that, because it is a little bit weird going from villain to villain to villain. So I like how they brought that up, and I like how they're being self-aware. The trailer definitely kind of alludes to maybe Daryl and Carol leaving. We'll get to that more in a little bit. I really hope they don't. I don't think they will. Like, why would they leave all their friends behind? But the trailer definitely makes us think that they're leaving. And maybe they do leave for a little bit, but they might come back. We'll see. And while we have this conversation between Carol and Daryl, we have this shot of Michonne confronting this Whisper. This Whisper, I believe, is Gamma, which is a new addition to a main Whisper. So now we have Alpha, Beta, and Gamma. That's pretty cool. And then we have our first look at Beta in season 10. Some Whispers here in the field. And then we have that again. We're back at the battle of the beach, and everybody's here standing. The way they kind of structured it is that's why I'm kind of curious and interested, because they're all like in formation, like the way they're walking, and we're gonna get more peeks at it in a little bit, but like the way this whole thing is kind of structured is just super interesting to me. And then again, like we have here that they're walking in formation. So yeah, I mean, I don't really know what's going on here, but I'm excited. I would guess walkers, because there are definitely some shots at the beach of the people killing walkers, and maybe there's a lot of walkers, like, because we know that ship came and there might be like hundreds of walkers on it. Who knows? And that's gonna be a lot of walkers. Maybe the walkers overtook Oceanside. Oceanside needs help, and that's why all these people go and kill these walkers together, working together, and then that's how they kind of recruit Oceanside to come back and fight against the Whispers. I don't know if Oceanside would be reluctant to fight the Whispers. We don't know that, but if everybody comes together and helps Oceanside in this beach, kill all these walkers, they definitely will. So that's what my guess would be, walkers. I don't think it'll be the Whispers. I don't know if the Whispers will come to the beach, so we'll see. And then we have Carol crying here, and Daryl gives her a hug. And this definitely breaks my heart, because I know Carol's gonna have a tough season. Just like I've seen that earlier where she's gonna be hallucinating Henry. Like, that's gonna be terrifying, because we saw like he was kind of covered in blood also. And man, I mean, this is gonna be a tough season for Carol, and it already kind of breaks my heart. And that's why I think like maybe they do leave for a little bit, but they come back, because it is gonna be tough for them, and maybe they want to move on. I mean, Carol has left in the past before. Daryl's never really left. But we'll see. I mean, that's what I would guess, that they're gonna leave and come back. But this is gonna be a tough season, I think, for Carol and a lot of people, because they're gonna be dealing with trauma, from the Pikes, and possibly even losing Mordor in the Whisper War. So it's gonna be a tough season for the characters. And then we have some more shots of the beach battle, and this is what I mean. Like, we have them at the ship here. Some walkers are coming out, and then we have everybody, putting their armor up and their, shields. So that's why I kind of think it's gonna be a lot of walkers. And when I say a lot, like, it should definitely be like hundreds and hundreds of walkers because of the way they're, in formation. Like they're getting ready for a big ass herd to come their way. Because if it's not that, then I don't know why they're, like they're in this sort of formation. So I do think it's gonna be like a ton of walkers, and then you have to clear it out. And then we have a shot of Gabriel, and I can't tell. I don't know if I'm looking at something wrong or what, but I genuinely cannot tell if he's inside of the cell or he's looking inside of the cell at someone else like Negan. I don't know why. I feel like that might be a door behind him just because of the shadow, and I don't know. I don't know. Maybe I'm missing something. I'm just not seeing this right. But I don't know why I can't tell if this is Gabriel looking inside the cell or he's inside the cell. Because it definitely make it seem like he's inside the cell because it kind of pans out and like we see him there. But if, let's say, just for instance, like if he is inside the cell, maybe he gets locked up. Why? I don't know why he seemed a bit frustrated when he was saying, like, talking to Aaron and, Gabriel. Or not Aaron and Gabriel, Aaron and Negan. He seemed a bit frustrated there, so maybe he does something irrational. Maybe he gets angry and does something and gets put in the cell. But I could just totally be seeing this wrong, and he might just be looking inside the cell at Negan. And then we have Daryl saying, let's get on a bike and go. And it cuts to Daryl and Carol on the bike, and it looks like they're going away. So that's what I mean. Like, it definitely alludes to them leaving. I don't completely buy it 100%. Like I've been saying throughout the video, I think they're gonna leave for a little bit, but I'm sure they'll be back. Because just leaving, in the middle of the whisper or not helping just does not seem, like, very, character-like. So I do think they're gonna come back and help. And in the trailer, there's something very interesting because Carol says head out west, and it cuts to two people on this boat. On by themselves, and those two people, I believe, it's hard to tell 100%, but I believe that's Michonne and RJ, and this could be setting up Michonne's exit. I mean, we saw what happened. I mean, they showed Rick's exit in a way last season in the trailer. Remember, like we saw that sequences of him bleeding and stuff like that. So they did show his final episode. We didn't know not exactly what happened to Rick, but something similar. I mean, so I wouldn't be surprised if this is how Michonne leaves. So I'm gonna have a separate video talking about this entire thing, because there's a lot to talk about here. But this could be setting up, Michonne's exit here. And then next we have this big ass ship pulling up, and I'm excited. This is why I'm excited about this entire, beach sequence, because what are they gonna do with this ship? What if they go somewhere else? What if some character, like, that's why I'm very excited, because we've never really seen this we've never really seen The Walking Dead on water that much, and I want them to explore Oceanside more, and I want to see, what's outside of, this location, what's across the ocean, and hopefully we get some answers this season. I'm excited about this. And then we have this moment of Jerry and his kids and his dog, and again, they're at the beach and they're all having fun. We have Judith here, and just everybody's having a good time. And while this is happening, we have that voiceover, that exchange between Carol and Daryl saying, like, no more fighting, get on the boat, head out west. And now I'm thinking about this more. People might just back out of the Whisper War. Some people might not want to fight the Whispers. It's not like the Saviors. These are like they might be really scared of these people. They don't know what they're dealing with. These are not like, normal human beings, really. They're scary. They act like walkers, and some people might just they might not want to deal with that, and they might be like, fuck it, I'm not dealing with the Whispers, I'm out of here. So maybe some people leave. That's going to be interesting, because asking people to fight against the Whispers is a big thing, Now, I could be totally wrong here, and, people want to fight for, their communities and stuff like that. But there also could be, people who don't want to fight, especially those who have been, dealing with the governor and Negan and, especially Carol and Daryl, since the beginning, they've been dealing with issues. The cannibals and, the wolves and so many other, communities and problems and fighting and over again. So they might just be fed up with it and they want to move on. And then we have Michonne giving Judith a hug here, and we have RJ looking a lot more grown. And I mean, we know Michonne is leaving her. This is gonna be her final season. But in that boat, we saw RJ and Michonne. And RJ might go with Michonne, if she's gonna go look for Rick. RJ might come with Michonne, but I don't think Judith is gonna go. I think Judith is gonna stay back because she's a fighter and she wants to fight and she wants to help. And they just literally casted her last season, they casted an older Judith. She's a really good actress, obviously I think, the best kid actress in the show. And I don't think they're just gonna bring her on for a season and then send her out. I don't think they would cast somebody who portrays Judith like that well just to kick him out the next season. So I think and that's been a big conversation also, like if Michonne goes to look for Rick, is she gonna leave her kids behind? And by the looks of it, it looks like maybe Judith is gonna stay back and Archie is gonna go, which I think ultimately makes sense. Wow, I just realized I'm going for over 25 minutes. Wow, if you're still watching this video, I really appreciate that. I wouldn't be surprised if nobody's watching because this is a very long video. If you're watching, comment down below. I love TWD. And during this part of the trailer, we have a lot of family and character moments, characters being with their loved ones, like I said before. But I want to talk about this scene real quick because we have this scene, there's some fire in the back because there's going to be like this moment in the trailer or in the season where the woods are going to be on fire. This character I'm interested in because this could also be Dante. We just don't know for sure. I've heard some people say this is Dante. Some people, the guy I was talking about before, that could be Dante. But I'm not 100% sure or anything. And part of Michonne's monologue is, she's saying like it's harder the second time, especially when you had somebody before, a partner in crime. Obviously referring to the Whisperer or the Saviors and All Out War and Rick Grimes is there on her side. And now she doesn't really have anybody on her side. But when she says that, it cuts to Ezekiel and Michonne kissing. Which I know people were like, whoa, but I was honestly shocked also when I saw that. It makes sense though. It's been like over 6 years, even closer to 7 years, because there's been a few time jumps between episodes in season 9 and season 10. So we'll see how far this relationship goes. Like, we know Michonne is leaving, so I don't think it's gonna be anything crazy, but just that's interesting. And then the trailer starts to pick up. We have people saying Magnus says like if we get caught across the border, that's gonna start a war. And then as soon as she says that, it cuts to Daryl crossing the border, obviously meaning there's gonna be a Whisper war going on in this season. And then we have that whole moment of them confronting each other at the Whisper border. We have Whispers holding guns, which was like kind of mind-blowing to me. I was like, okay, we've never really seen that before, and that looks terrifying. This guy with a big ass AK. And then that was the moment in the trailer, which one of my favorite parts in the trailer, when Carol was talking about Alpha and says like bitch has to die. And I'm rooting for Carol. I want her to be the one to kill Alpha, and that's what I mean when I said like they might be having a tough time, they might leave, but I'm sure they're gonna be back by the time the Whisper War is over, and I'm sure they're gonna help in the conclusion of the Whisper War. And then after that, we have a very quick paced trailer. It definitely picks up. We have a lot of characters running. We have a shot of Alpha running after some characters in the woods. We've never really seen Alpha run, and that's kind of terrifying to see. Some more beach sequences. We have Ed here killing this walker, which I absolutely love. It was like a badass. And then I love this shot also of Luke. Like, he just like pops up from behind and he's wearing this, suit with this badass weapon. And that's why I'm excited for this beach scene, because it looks to be pretty awesome. We have some fire here in Carol. Again, some whispers. We have Judith killing a walker here. Very quick pace action scenes. That's why I'm talking very fast. This part of the trailer is definitely picking up. And then we have Michonne saying that it's gonna get worse before it gets better, and it's not gonna work unless we act as one. And while she's saying this, we have that sequence in the trailer where the woods are burning. Now this kind of piques my interest because maybe she's talking to the Whispers. There's a scene immediately after she says that, it cuts to Alpha and she gives this little smile. And maybe she's actually talking to the Whispers and asking the Whispers to help clear out the fire, because setting those woods on fire, that is gonna literally spread like wildfire and burn down, maybe even go to the communities and burn down the houses. So I could be wrong about that, but it definitely looks like there's gonna be a big, they're killing walkers here, so it's not Whispers or anything, and there's a lot of fire behind them. So it could be that, it could be her talking to the Whispers, asking the Whispers to, help clear out the walkers and, clear out the fire. But I don't know, it's too hard to tell because the Whispers don't seem to be like, I don't see the Whispers helping at all. I don't see them becoming like a Negan type character where maybe they survive and they end up, being part of the good group. And maybe a couple of them here and there. But like Alpha and Beta, especially Alpha, I feel like it's way too far gone for them. Like, especially Alpha. Like, I don't see Alpha surviving this season. And Honestly, I think if they ask the Whispers for help in any circumstance, I feel like that also might be a little bit repetitive, like villains becoming good people again, just like Negan. So I don't think it's gonna happen, but just the way it was structured in the trailer kind of made it seem interesting. But anyways, after that we have a pretty good. It's almost like a little sneak peek. We have like a long sequence between Carol and Daryl, and they're on their own here, like they're in the woods by themselves. And they have like this little moment where they're talking about, you know, being best friends, and Carol makes a joke saying like, you wanted me to make a bracelet, and they just have this real cute little moment. But the thing that's interesting to me is that they're on their own here, so maybe they do leave, and that's what I'm kind of guessing on. They leave for a little bit. Because maybe they're overwhelmed, they're stressed out, but I'm sure they'll be back. And then it cuts to saying October 6th of The Walking Dead. That is when The Walking Dead season 10 is going to start, October 6th. Pretty early. Last year started in the first week of October, so once again, starting the first week of October. That's awesome. And then the last scene we see of the trailer is Carol with Lucille, and she's pointing it at someone, obviously mimicking the exact, you know, look of Negan pointing Lucille at somebody in season 6 and 7. So I don't know who this could be. Michonne, I mean, at least we know where Lucille is, because Lucille's been missing for an entire season. So I don't know who this could be. It could be Alpha or Beta, but imagine that, like, you know, she kills Alpha or Beta, you know, Negan style. And maybe it could be Negan himself, who knows. Maybe, remember earlier in the video I was talking about how they made it seem like Negan hurt Aaron. Maybe he actually did hurt Aaron, and this is, you know, Michonne taking revenge on Negan. Who knows? So many possibilities are out there. The only problem I have with it being Alpha or Beta is the trailers do only have the first 6 episodes usually, because that's what they're up to in filming. So is Alpha and Beta gonna die in their first 6 episodes, or could it be Negan? Is Negan gonna die in the first 6 episodes? We don't know. It could be none of those. It could be somebody totally different, but this is definitely one of the coolest shots of the trailer. And I'm just, you know, I don't know who it could be. You guys let me know in the comments down below, who do you think it is. But that is where the trailer ends. Such an awesome trailer, one of my favorites of The Walking Dead so far. This video has been going on for over 30 minutes, so if you're still watching it, thank you. That's awesome. But that being said, I am gonna wrap it up there. So much in this trailer. You know, this is gonna be a big season. You know, the Whisper War, the Commonwealth, Michonne leaving, so much to talk about. So get down in the comments down below and let me know, what are you thinking about this trailer? You know, what are you thinking about, you know, season 10, and, you know, what are you most excited for? But again, I am gonna wrap it up there. Hopefully you guys did enjoy this video. If you did, be sure to leave a like rating. If you are a fan of The Walking Dead, be sure to subscribe for daily content. Again, thank you guys for watching, and I'll see you guys later.